What's going on, everybody? Tyler with Just Right Outdoors. Hope you like the setting, kind of back where we are, but the sun's starting to come up. I came out here to do a little scouting. Bear season opens up in Washington tomorrow for fall bear. So I hope all of you get out there and have a safe hunting season. I know I'll be out there hitting it hard tomorrow. Took some time off work, so that's exciting. Got a couple bears on the hit list, so we'll see if me and the old beau can go and get her done. But with that being said, tomorrow, opening a bear season, it's gonna be hot. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, was being comfortable outside, outdoors when you're hunting. I talked about it a little bit with my pack review. You know, having a pack that holds your weight is pretty essential. You know, it holds the weight of what you got in there. Yeah, when you start quartering and carrying quarters back, you know, holding the weight and making sure you feel comfortable outside is a big part of it, because you're going to want to keep going. And I'm a big believer in that now. So we're going to talk about boots. And I have some examples up here. I've worn a couple of different style of boots. I wore the Kentreks for a while. I don't like brand bashing. They're a great boot. It was my feet. My feet didn't like them. They were a little too stiff, a little too hot. My feet run really hot. But aside from that, they kept my feet dry. You know, I didn't have any ankle rolling problems. So they did what they did, but my feet just didn't like them. The toe box was a little narrow. I've got flat, wide feet. I wore the Irish setters. Now I wear Red Wings for work because I do construction, and I love them. They're great. But as far as a hunting boot, I think they need a little more work. I didn't have the elk trackers, the Irish setters. That's a break off of Red Wing. And I kind of wish I would have. I might have a better opinion of them. But I didn't really like it. They leaked. They didn't grip in the rain. I slipped off logs, rocks, what have you. And then another example is these 6-inch Oakleys. I had a pair of 8-inch Oakleys when I was in the Army. So you AR 670-1 guys, get off my back. I did not wear these boots in the Army. But I bought these because I knew what they were. You know, I wore the Oakleys overseas, and they were a great boot. They were comfortable to a point. And they breathed really well. But over here in the Pacific Northwest, using them for hunting, not ideal. They just like the Irish setters, they leak because there's nothing to them. I mean, it's all mesh here, Cordura mesh, and they got these little breathability holes here. So I mean, they worked for that, but as soon as I started busting brush and it was getting wet, my feet were soaked. And I am a huge girl when my feet get wet. I hate it. So after a couple years of hunting and going through boots like nothing, I started really looking at boots, different brands, different companies, different styles, what I wanted, what I was doing, what I'm hunting for. And I basically came across Crispi boots. Now, I'm a big pro-US guy. I like supporting our country. I like doing everything. These boots are made in Italy. That being said, though, Crispi boots was mainly developed for mountaineering in the Alps. So you gotta look aside from that. But they have their website is crispius.com. It's basically their US website, and the boots that they sell are mainly tailored to hunters. You could buy them for hiking. I mean, don't get me wrong, or really anything. But they did some phenomenal stuff with these boots. I can't lie. So the first ones we'll talk about are these. Now I bought both of these pair a couple months apart. They are expensive. I know I try to do budget friendly, but there's some things I can't sacrifice. One being my feet. Like I said with the pack review, if you're comfortable, you know, with your pack, you know, it feels good. Your feet, if your feet are your feet feeling good? Are they staying dry? You know, all these things you got to think about. And so these aren't really that cheap. I bought these boots, these Crispi Thors, on a Black Friday sale. So they were a pretty good deal. I feel. I think the normal price was $3 or $360, somewhere in there. Don't quote me on that. Like always, I'll drop a link so you guys can check them out. But I believe I paid like $280 for these boots on Black Friday, and shipping was quick. I got them real quick. But they're called the Thor GTX, and so when you go to Crispi's website and you start looking at their boots, you're going to see what's called a flex rating. These have a flex rating of 4, so they're not super stiff. There's still some give to them, but they're stiffer in the aspect of these because these are made to be quick up in the high country, and that's what I kind of got them for. I've been trying to get a mountain goat tag fishing game. If you're watching, I'm trying to get a mountain goat tag for archery, and that's why I bought these, because these are pretty stiff, good support, and I would definitely wear these on a mountain goat hunt for side hilling. They don't give and break around stuff, so you get really good traction with these. They have this crossbow or cross frame, I forget what they call it. Their lacing system here kind of looks like a Solomon, but essentially when you tighten this down, these little triangular cuts on here really wrap your foot and lock it in. Now, I talked about the Kentrex, the toe box was a little narrow. I haven't had a problem with these. These were actually true to size. I don't have a store around here I can try them on, so I actually bought all these off their website, and they have a great customer service program. If you buy one of their boots off the website and it's a size too big or a size too small or 2 sizes too big, send them back. They'll get you the size you need, no questions asked. I really like that, and that's why I took a chance on them, because if they didn't fit, I knew I could send them back. Now, with these boots, like I said, they're stiffer. They have the lacing system on here. They have these little clasps on the side right here. I'll zoom in on that. But basically, once you lock these in, your laces don't come loose. So that's not bad. That's great. And these are supposed to be really breathable, both of these boots. Like I said, my feet run hot. So even in the wintertime, I wore boots like these with a little bit of a thicker sock, and my feet weren't cold. So if your feet do get cold, you might want to look into different options. They have full leather boots. These have a Cordura with a nubuck suede, I guess, and this rubber rand to protect everything. Now, the one thing that I like is these boots are completely 100% waterproof. The whole boot is wrapped in Gore-Tex. It's got a Gore-Tex lining around it. I've crossed cricks. I've crossed huge puddles. I've tried to get these things to not work basically since I got them last winter. I've worn them in the snow. I still haven't had a leak. I still haven't had an issue with them. And I really like that. That's awesome. So another cool thing they did with both these boots, all their boots, mind you, is they have what's called a proprietary sole. So basically, when it gets wet, it grips more, and that's true. I've crossed some cricks, done some nasty side hilling, jumping logs, crawling over rocks, getting trail cameras set. Have not slipped. Even crossing the cricks and the bigger boulders with the moss, I haven't slipped. They grip really well. Your feet are locked in these boots when you put them on, and that's all I can really say about them. Good boot for the money. They're not as comfortable as these ones, just because it is a stiffer sole, but you know, I mean, there is some give and take there. So the Crispi Thor GTX, if you're an early season archery hunter like I am, it's hot, they breathe, they don't leak if it starts raining, because you never know what you're going to get in Washington, and they do everything they need done. So those are the Crispi Thor GTX. I'll put a link up with those. The other boot I bought, hey, I was just asking my wife where my Allen keys went. Found them. But the other boot I got from them, it was shortly after I got these guys. I bought these on Black Ovis. They're a pretty good partner with Crispi. These are called the Wyoming. They have a similar boot if you like taller boots. They have a similar one called the Idaho. I believe the Idaho is 10 inches. These are 8 inches. So these are pretty different than the Thors. They still got the same lacing system going on. They have what's called the Crispi crossbow frame. So it's supposed to be a little more rigid, a little more forgiving, last longer. So they got the same lacing system, so your foot's locked in. The other thing these have that the Thors don't is called an ankle bone support system, ABSS. So essentially, you pop your boot in, and I mean it pops on. You can feel it. It pops on. You lace it up, tie it up. Your ankles are locked in. It works. I haven't had an issue with either of these boots, but mainly these ones, I haven't had an issue. Again, you have the Vibram sole, proprietary. It grips when it gets wet. The lug patterns on the soles are different from both boots, and that's why I wanted to give them a try, see which one was better. They're both great. I haven't had an issue. Again, 100% waterproof. Whole boot is wrapped in Gore-Tex. The rubber rand going around, you got nubuck suede and Cordura for breathability. Same thing, you lock your laces in that clasp and your laces won't go anywhere. You can finish tying your boot up. I kind of switched these off, so if I went and set trail cameras with these, I'll go check trail cameras with these, or vice versa. If we're going on a hike, I'll wear these. If we're going on a different hike, I'll switch them up. I've been trying to test these boots out since I got them in the wintertime, and trying to get just something bad that I have to say, and I can't say anything bad about them. They've got a ton of boots out there for guys, for whatever you're doing. They've got, and all their boots are named after states basically. So like the Nevadas are pretty popular. Those are pretty much all leather. You got the Summit GTXs. That's probably one of their cheapest boots, but you're still gonna get the same performance. They're similar to the Thors. They're just, they're not stiff. They're not stiff like the Thors are. They've got Colorados. They've got the Birksdales. I mean, you could basically go to their website, and for any game you hunt, you could buy a boot for that game. Like I said, they're not cheap. You're definitely getting what you pay for, though, guys. Or gals. They have women's boots too. I'm actually looking at getting the wife a pair of either the Wyomings in women's or the Summits, because she mainly hunts the early season. It's a little nicer out for her. So, and much like the pack, when I buy her pack for this season, we'll get her to do a gear review on the boots too. So that's why they're kind of dirty and not dusted off or anything like that. I mean, there's crap all over them. They also have a Crispi, basically it's like a replenishing spray. It keeps the material good. Basically when this stuff starts drying out is when you're going to start getting boots to kind of fail on you, and it looks like I need to get some. But it's like $12 or something like that. It's a spray bottle. If you got the Cordura and suede, you spray it on there, clean the boot, spray it on there, and let it dry. That's it. You can put as much as you want on, and all it does is it just reconditions all the materials in the boot, so they last longer. These are Flex Rating 3, so they're much more flexible. So if all you're doing is hunting old grade roads, old skid roads, these are probably the boots for you. I still wear these, excuse me, on stuff like this, logging roads. And they're still, both boots are very comfortable. So I will drop the link in the description bar. It's kind of a short review because you know, these boots, you're getting what you pay for. Everything they say they do, they do. So it's not too late to get you a pair of new boots. If you're looking for a pair, I would definitely look into Crispi. I follow some Instagram groups and guys are asking already what boots to buy, and I always tell them Crispi. Group of guys up here called PN Wild, Pacific North Wild. Good group of guys. They were just recently asking about what kind of boots we wear, and they were asking me, you know, how do they feel. So if you guys are watching this video, check out their website. Like I said, I bought these boots. I'm not endorsed by them. I didn't get these for free. I wish I would have. Crispi, if you're watching, I'll take a pair of boots for free. But so I bought these. I've used these. I'm going to use these all season. I can give another in-depth review, especially when the wintertime hits. Late deer, late elk, when I hunt, it's wet, really wet. But I have submerged both these boots. Obviously not to the top, they'll leak then. But I've submerged both these boots pretty much almost to the top, and never had an issue. Boots were still comfortable. They didn't weigh very much more than what they do now. These guys are a little heavy. I forget what the weight is on these. I think they're about 1.5 pounds total, if I remember right. I'm horrible at remembering information, but they're a little bit heavier. That's probably the only downside of those Wyomings. I imagine the Idahos are a little bit heavier because they're taller. The Thors, these things are light. I mean, these things you could throw on and go run a marathon and get your game. So check them out, guys. They're worth a look. I know there's Kentrex and Lola and you know, Irish setters. Guys wear Solomons and all that stuff. And there's just some things that I won't sacrifice money on. I'll save up and get what I need to get to make it happen, and for me to be comfortable outdoors. I know I don't want to go home when I got these on. I want to stay out longer and do more scouting. Yeah, so with that being said, guys, hunting season starting up in Washington. You guys stay safe out there. Any other states, you guys are going outdoors, stay safe out there, make ethical shots, and check out Crispi. They're a great boot. And we'll do another gear review even though it's hunting season. I got a couple more things I'm going to go over with you guys. But other than that, I'm going to start recording hunting videos, and so you guys can see what it's like out here in the Pacific Northwest chasing this the elusive black-tailed deer. That's about all I hunt. Might try my own little deer slam for Washington. Go after blacktail, mule deer, and whitetail one a year, since that's all you get. You guys over in the East Coast, you get like 3 deer a tag. It's kind of sad. But yeah, so bear season, then I got deer, elk, turkey in the middle of that, fall turkey. So it's gonna be a fun season. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell thing so you get notified when I got a new video dropping, and also follow me on social media, Instagram and Facebook, just Right Outdoors. Other than that, guys, you have a great day, safe week, happy hunting.